Well, the wine business has been a journey for me. My parents didn't own a winery and didn't come from a family of winemakers or own vineyards. I grew up in upstate New York in a town called Berlin. And when I was 18, when I graduated from high school, I hitchhiked to California. After about 2 weeks, I wound up in San Francisco, and someone there told me to go up to Napa Valley. I met some pretty interesting people. A lot of them were people from France and from Spain and from Italy that brought their culture, winemaking and cuisine. And they gave me a glass of wine. It was called Cabernet Sauvignon, which was like one of the most exotic things I could ever possibly imagine. And I thought maybe I would come back there someday. I walked by this French restaurant called the Big Tree Inn. I walked into the restaurant. I said, my name's Joseph Carr, and I've worked at some of the finest French restaurants in my hometown. He goes in the back, and he brings a tie bow tie, an empty bottle of wine and a wine opener, and a book called The Signet Guide to Wine. And he said, you come back in 2 days, and if you can tie the bow tie, and you can open the bottle of wine, I'll give you a job. And 2 days later, I walked into the restaurant. He goes, did you read the book? I go, yeah. Well then, tell me 3 crus of Beaujolais. I said, Morgon, Fleuret, Moulin Vent. And he went in the back and he got me a tuxedo. And I became a wine steward in a French restaurant. I sat my wife down on the sofa one day and I told her what my American dream was. And that was to quit my job, start a wine company in Napa Valley, California. She said, Joe, you know, this has been your life, and if this is the next chapter in your life, then you go through it. I sold the first 100 cases out of the back of my truck. I went to restaurants because I had been a sommelier and I could talk to restaurateurs. I knew what they wanted, I knew what they needed. And one day I get a phone call from a guy named Eric Asimov. And then we start talking about wine. He goes, well, you know what? You make a very interesting wine. He said, you make wines that are very old school in style, very Bordeaux. So a month later, an article came out, and then you should watch out for this new producer. His name's Joseph Carr. I always surrounded myself with artists, whether they were label designers or coopers or growers. All these guys had a passion for what they were doing. They all had a passion, and if you share a passion, then you can be really successful.